Oh wow, you're not even close. Could be closer. There you go, Geo Spartan. Yeah, that's better. Hey, Greg. Alright, let's get straight into this. Okay. Let me guess. Focus is on auto. Oh, dear lord. Let's see. Overhead. Let's see if I actually have got the right machine for focus. Right. Yep, that's the right one. Hey Travis, Stuart, Jim, Suits is here too. Ah, Jane Zimmy, welcome. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I can get my focus right here. I don't know why I try. It's... yeah, I think that'll do. 5. That's about all it's gonna be. 5. It'll suffice. I'm a little out of it at the moment. Not even wearing appropriate clothing for this sort of work. Alright. Hey Joshua. Okay, we just gotta get this fixed up. It's nothing major, it's just 2 little minor cracks on the screen. But I'm selling this phone, so I want to put a new screen on it. So I thought I'd better do it now while I've got an opportunity, rather than later when it's all madness and rush. At least it's a 6, so it's not as quick as doing a 6S, but it's still pretty good. Let's see, no, you don't want T5, you don't want tri-wing, come on, just a standard Phillips please. Standard Phillips found. You are the... oh, you're the 000 Phillips. That's too fine. Junk. Ah, finally. PH00. The trouble with the Wera PH000 driver is that it has a truncated tip on it. So you have to be far more pedantic about the angle and pressure you apply when you're taking these screws out. Whereas the PH00 has a conical tip on it, so you can get all loose and loosey-goosey or whatever. And there's no real penalty. Come on, get off. Yeah, I'll be fixing a couple of Macs in a bit. Next, I just want to get this. Well, I haven't actually got Mac machines. They're just boards that I've bought that I would like to try and see if I can revitalize, which is always fun. It's a bit like a lucky dip. Sometimes you win, many times you don't. Hey, House of Moth. Ah, and Christian's here. Yeah, this is more just getting it out of the way so that I don't have to think about it, and then when the person does turn up they can collect it, pay the money and be gone. This is actually my wife's old iPhone. She has subsequently taken my iPhone 6S Plus, and I've picked up an iPhone 7 Plus. So we've all sort of jumped up the queue a little bit. The biggest thing I've so far missed on the 7 Plus though is the headphone socket. I went to go plug in some headphones for some music the other day, and I was like, what? Damn it. Damn you, Apple. I should have known, but I didn't know, so be it. I'll just have to get some Bluetooth ones or something. Oh wait, you can get an... Yeah, I don't want to carry a dongle around though. Travis, hopefully not any dead CPUs. I don't oh, goddamn, the lethal one is here. I was going to say, I don't see Anel around, but no, he's turned up. What is it with you, Anel? You're like a lonely, reaper. You just wander the halls of the YouTube internet, waiting for someone to open the door for you to slip in and destroy their MacBook repair. You wasn't there for Oreo? What? Oh, hang on, whoa. What's happened for Oreo? Has something happened to Oreo, or what's going on? Hey, ITC. Please tell me nothing's happened to Oreo. I expressed my concerns about him being there overnight. Hey, Stuart. Yeah, now we're all concerned. What's going on for Oreo? Seriously, I'm concerned. If I picked up 000 again, I have. God damn it, lethal one. Talk. As we all wait anxiously. Lewis didn't say anything this morning, but he only said about 2 things to me. Oh, I hope he means yesterday. Yes, Greg, Oreo was in the shop last night. Not a big fan of that sort of idea. There's too many things for a cat like that to get into, chew on, disappear. All sorts of things. I mean, it's not my place, but yeah, I certainly feel a bit uneasy about it. Oreo's fine? Oh, thanks for nothing. Thank you very much for nothing. Giving us a huge scare like that. I mean, geez, you got half the internet panicking then. Damn you. I've had enough of that today. This morning I get up at 5:30 or whatever it was, and I'm normally, when I get up, all the boys come running to me because they want to go out the back. They got to go out the door. Pardon me. But this morning they didn't. And I thought, oh, that's a little unusual. So I go out to the courtyard area, which is sort of like a semi-enclosed outside area. Well, it's fully enclosed, but semi-outside sort of thing. And I can see 2 of the boys, but what terrifies me is that up against the fence I see this great big cardboard box that has been blown around or blown in from the storm we had last night, and I didn't see this great big box. And of course the box gives enough elevation for them to potentially get out. So in that split second my heart just goes from normal waking up rate to absolute insane rate. The adrenaline runs through, you get the immediate shakes. I just barge towards the fence, accidentally knock poor Micro over because I'm just barging like a lunatic towards the fence to check. And finally, after about 10 terrifying seconds, Loki makes an appearance out of the grass. And it's like, blimey heck. And anyway, since that sort of wake up start, they pretty much set the tone for the day, and I've been fairly jittery the whole time. And then of course now Nell comes in with his lacking context, lacking sufficient information statement there, and it's just like, blimey hell. What? Lewis still throwing his... Is he even streaming at the moment, or what the hell's going on? Lewis needs a good slap to the back of his head. He's been a real user lately. He's doing a lot of derping. Now, on the other hand, there were some people, Chris and Steve, I think it was, who were in the Discord on my channel, and they were actually helpful. They said, hey, we found this, well, we sort of were going through a few things, a few features, and they said, hey, it's doing this, misbehaving this way. And through the entirely normal, proper user type behaviors, I was actually able to find the bug, fix the bug, and all was good. Instead of tossing their toys out the cot and making all sorts of horrible statements and getting nothing done. Kristen, don't worry, I'm terrible at multitasking as well. The fact that I can even talk and do this sort of stuff is just pure luck. My microscope switcher isn't on because we had the storm last night and I had to power off everything. Alright. Oh, if I ever happen to get over to, is this camera on? Yep. If I ever happen to get over to New York, yeah, there's going to be ringside seats for a showdown between myself and Lewis. There is a lot of sass that has to be returned to him. He's piled up a great deal of debt. And the debts must be repaid. Hey, Cadson21, yeah, I know your dad. Yep. Yeah, I mentioned it the other day. Your dad was in the production of My Boyfriend is a Zombie, which was done by my wife down at the Towers Players. So, yep, I remember. He's brought around a fair bunch of things. So, and you've got that Metabox Clevo laptop. How you guys going with the heat today? It's pretty damn brutal over here, but at least I've got air conditioning. Travis, you think we would hug it out? If by hug you mean stranglehold, sure, yeah. I mean, Lewis would beat me in that for sure. He's actually got muscles, I don't. The only thing in my advantage is maybe backstabbing and underhanded techniques. But, I'm willing to consider them acceptable. Can I cuss on stream? I can if I want to, but I don't, as a general rule. I like to leave my cuss words for emergencies, for when it really matters. Like when you do iPhone 7 reballing or audio IC fixing, things like that, and you get it all wrong. Stuff like that. Or when Lewis appears. Let's see. Jane Zimmy, were you affected by the bushfire smoke? No, not up here. We're quite a fair bit further north than where most of the bushfires are going off. The only smoke I smelt last night, we do have a total fire ban on around here as far as I understand. But we had it rain, and I swear within about half an hour of that rain happening, someone out there was burning off their rubbish in the backyard. And I could smell it. I was like, seriously? We've got this total fire ban, and you think just because it rained for 20 minutes that it's okay to light up a fire and burn off your rubbish? It's like, bravo, you don't know anything about fires and burning bush and stuff like that. 20 minutes worth of rain isn't going to do squat. Okay, that's that. How's that battery look? I want to make sure. Yeah, that's okay. I don't want to. I know the person that I'm selling to it fairly regularly, so I want to make sure that it's definitely going to be in good condition. Not that you can sell these iPhone 6s for much anymore, but they're good phones. They're easy to fix in most cases. They do the job. Hey, Richard T from Vancouver. Yes, the lethal one. Think of California. It's kind of similar enough. Burning rubbish reminds me of Guatemala. Yeah, it's around here. It's not far off, you know. The yeah, the level of civilization in this place can vary dramatically. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't when I went out and measured the dirt or how far the rain penetrated into the dirt. You could basically scratch it off pretty damn quickly. It was not exactly what you consider a serious soaking at all. Okay, phone's good. Let's see, thinking of building a gaming PC for a budget of 1300. I would see what PC case gear have on sale at the moment, or M-Wave. Either of those two, they're pretty good. The biggest problem is if you get a full size case, then you're going to like a full size tower, like the ones that come up here. It's going to cost you a fair bit on shipping. So if you can get a mid tower, standard tower, or something more compact, that would be good. Around here, if you've got it in an air conditioned room, you should be fine. You shouldn't have to have cooling with liquid or anything like that. No SIM card installed. You can easily burn a lot of money on the gaming machines. Oops, okay, this has still got all my wife's stuff on it. Ha! Ooh, better hide that one. No. Just kidding, there's nothing on here. Just reminders telling me it was rubbish day 3 days ago. So it's all good. Alright, so person can come and get that after I've erased it. And hopefully I do not erase my wife's stuff, as in on her iCloud or anything like that, as I probably will be in trouble. Hey, RickTech. Stuart, yeah, the storm was sort of like just a moving front, not very wide front, so it goes over pretty quickly, beats up everything, moves on. Fortunately, Jane, given how big Australia is, it's comparatively unlikely for a lot of events to actually be getting me. Up here, the worst we'll probably suffer is extended heat waves, and maybe occasionally getting cut off from the coast due to flooding. I got to put an SMC back on this. I took it off because it was a desperate situation at the time. I didn't have any of these boards in stock. This is not a board I typically dealt with. It's sort of got 3476, yeah. So now I've got to get another 3476 and put the SMC back on. And now I've got to find a 3476 in amongst this massive pile of boards I've got now. I really need to get a better organizing system now. It's gotten to that point. Hey, Lux7, yeah, doing good. Man, I cannot spot a 3476 by sight. Says the man who just pulled a 3476 straight from the pile on the first attempt. Oh well, I'll take it. Gotta appreciate your lucky moments when they happen. And the SMC looks to be in pretty good condition. BIOS, on the other hand, is in terrible condition. Hey, Copaz, yes, SMC replacement. And I'm not going to do it the way Lewis is trying to goad me into doing it. He wants me to do the truly stupendous flip-off method, and that's just ludicrous. I mean, if he didn't have all of us yelling at him, he would have had to have redone that a couple of times. Hey, Luke. I mean, he had big balls, little balls, no balls. It was all over the place. I think he was just shooting from the hip and hoping he'd get lucky. Unfortunately, he did. Actually, I'm not even sure why I said fortunately. Would have been more fun to see him suffer. Yes, that's right, folks. The relationship between me and Lewis is at a rocky low at the moment. He just doesn't understand and appreciate me anymore. Ever since he's gotten Cindy, things have changed. It's heartbreaking. Boomer replaces SMC. Oh, lethal one. That's harsh. Hey, you talking about me or Lewis? Because I'm certainly not a boomer. I'm a Gen X. So, Cadison, you're going to go with a Ryzen, something like a Ryzen 5, and what, a 2060 or 2070 card? Maybe put a 512 gig solid state in there, something like that. 49, what are you? You're an X. You're a Gen X. The generation that no one's got any arguments with right now. Boomers still use AOL. Woo! That's some fighting words here. Add some more flux. Yeah, I'm done trying to appease him. It's never enough. I've done so much to fix up stuff. I've even made this. There are comments in my code for Flex Boardview that explicitly say to help Lewis or for Lewis or make it easier for Lewis. And what do I get for it? Complaints. That's when you know you're in a bad relationship. And now that he's got his store thing happening, well, I'm just gonna be another forgotten thing in his life. I'm so hurt. I might have to do a special video on it. Oh man, I've kind of botched up here. I didn't cut away the underfill enough, the edge bonding. So I've made my life harder. There we go. Look at the camera and shield Rossman Group, please. How am I supposed to shield Rossman Group? No. Don't delay, buy today. Get from Rossman Group in New York. The people that will give you all the best parts at all the highest prices. Also, Lewis is mean. Yeah, Greg, I'm trying to think of a good Easter egg to put into the code. Something that will sort of interfere with him, make things a little bit messy, but not actually enrage him. There's a very fine line when it comes to Easter eggs between being a jerk and being humorous. Ignacio, I'm more of a person for straight tweezers. I have tried curved in the past quite a bit, but in the end it seems like I'm a straight person. Oh man. Sorry, just trying to avoid flicking balls in my face. Man, some dangerous work there. Really don't want... Yeah, because you only have to just breathe the wrong way and you got a couple of shots of lead down your gut. No thank you. Is this the right one? Yeah, that'll do it. Hey Tim, by the way. Hey Bryce. Let's see, why aren't you sitting down properly? Now I've got to clean this up. And then... yeah, that should be good. Tim, by the way, it's not actually a... I haven't diagnosed a dead SMC other than the fact that I actually took an SMC from the board that I was just supposed to... It was meant to be a board I repair for myself for a spare, but my SMC donor boards were late in arriving, so I had to cannibalize it. I really hate cannibalizing my boards, but the customer was already waiting quite a bit, so I just wanted to get it over and done with. You know what I mean. It's one of those jobs where you just gotta get it done. Oh man, there's so much flippin' oxidation on those pads. Put a watermark on it saying stop complaining. That's a good idea. Do you manually ball or just pour them into the holes? I pour them in. You'll see it in a few seconds. Well, a few minutes. I used to paste a lot, but to be honest, I've sort of gotten lazy and found just balls is easy enough to. Someone forgot to turn on the fume extractor. There we go. It's not good to forget your fume extractor. We're all up and running again though. But I did it for YouTube so that people could hear me. That's good enough. Now we do need to take this out of here and wash it. This is where Paul S. and myself would certainly not get along, but Lewis and I would get along, is that I'm a mess and I leave balls everywhere and I just don't care. Whereas Paul S., he is, well, I mean, he is from the military, so he's used to being pedantic and precise, all that sort of stuff, clean, everything that I'm not. At least it smells like good, unlike cigarettes. Yeah, I'll definitely grant that. Flux smells generally better than cigarettes by a mile. Alright, that looks clean enough. Now I've got to clean the actual holding point. Because if you have all that flux in there, oh damn, I'm going to lose all my balls. If you have all this flux and junk in there, what's going to happen is when you go to reflow your chip, then that flux is just going to bobble up and wick its way between the stencil and your SMC. And it's going to result in a bad reflow. Bad reballing job, rather. Yeah, it's mostly the flux that you care about. The balls can stay there. Just not in the corners like that. Yeah, Anton, that was the problem I was running into. With fresh flux, you're absolutely 100% correct. It's quick, it's easy, no dramas. But as soon as that as soon as that solder paste goes off, it's a nightmare. And that's what I kept running into, particularly the fact that we've got the high temperatures around here. So solder paste tends to go off very quickly. Even if you do keep it in the fridge most of the time, just the time it spends outside of the fridge in this sort of heat and weather, it doesn't take long for it to go all funny and the balls start self-welding together and you end up with this rather unpredictable solder paste. Put a watermark, stop bitching. STM32 is here. STM32. It's a nice hefty microcontroller. It's almost to the point where you seems unfair to call it a microcontroller. I mean it is, but I consider things like the Atmel AVR 8 series to be more microcontrollers. The STM32 is almost a mini computer. Alright, let's put some tape down. I used an Arduino Uno, but ran out of space. It's slower than, the STM32 is a significantly more potent chip. Generally, it depends on what variant you get, of course. I mean, if you compare, say, an 80 Mega 64 to maybe one of the low-end STM32s, maybe there's a bit of a better comparison. But in the end, you got to pick your microcontroller for what you're doing. I mean, it's not a phallic waving contest or anything like that. It's like when you're dealing with that sort of business, you pick the device that gives you the best value for money overall, end to end, and you've got to factor in things like programmability, maintainability, serviceability, all that sort of stuff. Because like if you compare, say, the microchip PIC series, they were pretty cheap, they had a pretty high clock cycle, all that sort of stuff. But then the Atmel AVRs came out and just basically ate their market overnight. All because the Atmel AVR was easier to deal with end to end. It was a more expensive chip at the start, but that was about the only expensive part of the whole process. Sorry, I'm just diddling around a little bit here, trying to find something. Ah, there you are. Anton, drying the paste means you just sort of run it over the soldering iron a bit until it gets a little bit of a granular type feel. Crumbly feel rather, not granular. So that there's not so much flux jumping around in there. Because most of the times your bad reballs come from the fact that there's flux interfering, bubbling out, boiling away, making your balls jump out, things like that. Now I know this is a 0.3 stencil, but I actually 0.35s in it. Because if you take the size of a paste ball, like if you reball an SMC using paste, and then you have a look at the size of the balls, they're much bigger than 0.3 at the end. Now, I can't get 0.4s in here. Believe me, I tried. But 0.35 does work. Hey, fixing things? Alright, let's pull back the glove a little bit, make it easier. The nice thing about the .35s versus the .3s is that it's a lot harder to get a double ball problem. Whereas with the .3s, it's all too common to get two of these in a hole. Okay, we've got a couple we're just going to have to manually place. Straight, the only time I use a Windows machine is pretty much if well, oh goddamn, sorry. In short, no, I don't use Windows. I use macOS, I use Linux, but I don't use Windows. The only time there's Windows around here is when I got a customer machine in. And I've been stopping that as much as I can lately. I just don't have the time for dealing with that anymore. Like I did one today, and you know, it was like 4 or 5 hours of stuffing around. And for what? It's, you get an hour's worth of labour maybe. That's it. It's just not worth it. Alright. Now, let's see. So we're going to go 420 and 30 air. So we just want to melt the balls so they become irregular. And then once we've melted the balls and they're irregular, we will do the actual fluxing and okay, I've got one that wants to take a ride out. Getting a little see how all the balls have now changed their texture? They've all got this sort of dimpled effect. And now we just run a little bit of flux over it all. Not much, just enough to wet it. And then we do it again. That one there is not jumping. This one here. And yeah, it looks like a couple of them didn't want to go. I'll just try and convince them again. Alright, see how many we're going to lose on that. Honestly, I find the biggest problem with SMC reballing more often than not, other than the flux issues, is just simply dirty pads on the SMC. Oh no, I got flux on my flux tube. Oh, that's disgusting. I mean, if we lose. I think we've got them all there. Yep, they're all good. Yeah, the lethal one, that's what I usually do. I'll just try not to if I don't have to. But yeah, that is usually the process. Yeah, looks like all of the requirements are on. We'll just go over it with the hot air, just to get that affirmation of everything being right. Yep, everything's sitting there nicely. Hey Dennis, thank you. Hey Swiftwick, yeah, warm day. Warm day indeed. Thank goodness I've got air conditioning. Now is this the board that I... Okay, yeah, this is the board that I want. So as you can see, the pads are not prepared. Oh well, it was a couple of months ago that I did this, so I forgive myself. Yeah, it looks a little bit... Man, see how that flux just already has gone hard? Look at that. Flux should not do that. I mean, that was pretty much rock hard. And it wasn't the edge bonding, by the way. I will get that ball that's poking up there. That's just asking to get torn off. What's the date on my 559? I'll check, Tim, just give me a mo. I think I'm gonna have to hot air wick these. There you go. So I've got a little over a month left of this one. Ignacio, yours is doing it too, yeah. That's, my earlier ones were fine, and my earlier tube was also a V2. But, yeah, this one, for some reason, has just started to go rock hard like that on me. And it also just sort of burns off way too quick. I wouldn't really sort of say Flux has a use by date. It's more of a best before date. You can keep using it after that date, but it probably won't be best. Feel bad for this guy. He wants to do a head recovery or swap on his hard drive without working knowledge of data recovery. Oh, jeez. Good luck to him. It's a ballsy move to do that with hard drives. Not really the sort of thing you mess around with. At least the one upside, if they're going all hard and crusty like that, is that you can use it as glue for your SMCs. Oh, you're a dirty looking SMC. So if we wait a few seconds, that flux will glue the SMC in place. Oh, trying to change the heads with no clean chamber, no experience. Sounds like a perfect recipe. You know what's going to be bad though, is that he's probably going to succeed, and then he's going to make a YouTube video about it, and he's going to be saying, it's all a lie. They tell you have to use a clean room and stuff like that. It's not true. And then more people are going to believe him, and yeah, it's going to be fun. You know that's what's going to happen. Yeah, that's good enough for me. I've really got to learn not to hold the handle and the tweezers quite so tightly. I seem to develop a death grip on whatever I pick up, like pencils, tweezers, pens, knives, hot air, wands, everything. I just instinctively get a death grip on it. And I have to tell myself, easy, 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 yeah. There we go. It's dancing. We're good. Serial to turn TTL breakout. No, I actually prefer to stick with the FTDI ones, only because they're just so widely supported and dependable. I mean, sure, if you're really after that extra speed and maybe cost saving, go for something like the CPs, but yeah, for me I'm staying with the FTDIs. Yeah, the lethal one, that's just it. What is wrong with this board now? Funny thing is, I don't think I've even got a machine I can put this into. $34.76. I'm not sure if my personal 1502 is this one or not. As long as I get a fan spin and some sort of USB boot activity, I'll be happy. And the next time I get another chassis for this particular board, I'll give it a test. Alright, so here we go. I just realised I need a DC in cable to start with. Almost certain I've got one. Yeah, the platters you can damage pretty easily. It's definitely the heads that are the real issue. Tim, look how desperate I've been having to get. I've had to 1466 USB ports. I had to take them out for a job that I got coming in next week. Wasn't sure if I was going to be able to source them anywhere. I suppose AliExpress would have them. Let's see, 1278 DC in. Okay, it looks like I do not have DC ins for this in that container. I am happy to say though, I'm quite surprised that I managed to get the get these USB ports out, and they're all intact. So it was definitely a surprise for me. Ow. Okay. Fan. Oh, the beloved 1502 fan. The fan that we all are not fans of. Yes, Dennis says salvage parts. Okay. Let's see if we get a fan spin. Guess if you have the time to remove them. Yeah, well, I didn't. I wasn't doing anything at the time. It took me an extra 10 minutes. Takes about 5 minutes per part. Okay, green light. Orange light. No fan spin. And we're only drawing 15 milliamp. Dun dun dun. Something sus. It doesn't help that I got junk on there. Destroyed my... Yep. Whose workshop mag safe does not look like this? Come on, be honest now. We've all got them looking like that. Yeah, we definitely don't have activity here because we've only got 15 milliamp. Oh, we've actually got a job. Let's bring up Flex Boardview. Lewis added solder to those points. Yeah, that's not going to last very long. That will just very quickly erode away. So at 3476. Sorry, losing track of my own board. Yeah, I gotta find where PM Sleep S4L is though on this. No, give me back my screen. Oh, come on, what are you doing? What are you doing, man? What? Okie doke. Yeah, Stray, I saw that comment about maybe all the ports being removed. That'll be interesting. Okay, so we want PM Sleep S4L, see if that's even with us. Yeah, not POM. Hey, Rob. Which one are you on here? Oh, you're the second pin up the top there. Okay, neat. Did not realise there was a PM Sleep S4L on that one. Let's see. Voltage, multimeter. Yeah, Rob, pushing through. Deal with the hard love situations right now. Maybe it's because I can't keep my cables organised. Maybe it's because I say solder as solder instead of solder. Solder just sounds so wrong. So really? Okay, where's our PM Sleep S4L? We naturally do not have a PM Sleep S4L. Hooray. Okay. Lewis is live now? Oh man. I thought he was giving up for the night. Alright. Well, I've got a PM Sleep S4L issue here, so that's going to be fun. Was it my JTAG? No. You got a fine number of choices of what it could be. Just going over the board, seeing if there's something blatant that I've missed. May as well take the fan out because I'll be able to tell by the current draw whether it's going or not. Unfortunately, these boards, I have had troubles where you get issues down around here. Signals just vanishing to the middle of nowhere. That looks a little burnt. Yeah, it's probably just my eyes, but we'll have a look at it anyway. What do you... Clock 100. PCIe? Could technically be at fault, but if that's burnt, then that really actually does not bode well for anything else on the board. Because there's no way data signal line like that. 3.18. No, they're okay. I think it's just a random discoloration. Looks like liquid's been up and about here, but I can't be sure that isn't actually just from it being lying around in my workshop. Okay, what have we got down here? No, it's just flux. Oh. Yeah, that'll about do it. I'm surprised I didn't see that before. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. Doing the open board data. Hey, Dan the plumber. Yes, if any of you do collect data on the networks, or the pins for most of you will be what you're thinking of, but if you collect the information such as diode mode or expected voltages or resistances on these boards, and you want to help contribute, to the open board data project. I would greatly appreciate that. It's a community project, it's open source, there's no actual software involved in it and such. It's just every single board has its own text file, and that text file you can just read it off. It will have the network name, the diode mode voltage, the expected voltage if it's applicable, the resistance, and then you can leave a comment if you want to put in extended information, such as say with PV bus G3 hot, your expected voltage is 1256 on most models, well, on some models, and you can leave a comment there and say if it's 12.24 or something like that, SMC is damaged, replace SMC. So you can leave your little information in there. And then, because it's free and open, any other Boardview programs that are out there, they can always look to pick it up as well. Because right now, I'm getting real sick of the fact that there are programs out there that come from this. How do I say this without seeming like I'm racist or anything like that? Basically, there are programs out there that aren't English-based, and they've got all this data in it. And it'd be nice if we had a repository of that data that's free and open in very clear, plain, just clear and plain, so that anyone can use it. Because I kind of feel like I've been held to ransom by it right now. Audio syncs off. We'll fix it. We're back. Clear and plain Australian, mate. Okay, what's the bit that chip's pretty much cactus to? I'm not really sure what I'm doing. Oh, by the way, yes, occasionally people do have their boards vertically, Lewis. Look at this. This board is in the vertical orientation. Not that I actually am proud of the fact that that bug existed, but people do have their boards in vertical orientation. Stop being an orientationist. Good now, right. 5x5. I always forget why 5x5 exists. I'm pretty sure it was to do with the VU meters or something. God damn. What I do need is a better fume extraction setup. It used to work well, but it's moved around on the bench too much now. Yeah, everything looks bad at the moment on that. Okay, so we're definitely missing parts as it's fully populated in there. Easier for me to use the X-Acto knife. I will probably remove these two caps and resistor just out of precaution. Hey, Miss Angel Knight. Well, congratulations on being able to concurrently do such things. I've never had much success in doing that myself. Like, I used to try and watch Lewis and Jessa streams concurrently, but I was never good at it. I'd say that resistor is okay, but I'm still going to remove it. And that's why. Because underneath, the pad can be the problem. Actually, this one here, the pad looks bad too. Oh no, that's okay. Sorry, dude. Any plans to add current between two nets or overall draw for board? I think what I'll do, Owen, for that is I'll have a sort of a discussion intro or something at the start of the file so people can leave comments like that. Call it maybe a board summary page or something, and then I'll make it so that that comes up in the board view, so when you look at your board information it'll give you the general chit chat on it. These pads are all just on the verge of coming off anyway. At least that is the nice thing about text formats, is you can, you know, set them up pretty easy. Anton, it was a mystery until I found it. I mean, we don't even know if this is going to fix it properly. It probably will, but plus we don't know what other damages occurred as a consequence of this. Looks like we're going to have to run a bit of a wire, a little bit of a wire. See how far that corrosion got up. No, it didn't get very far. Mystery boards are fun for YouTube videos, they're not fun for business. But since I did buy this board for the sake of YouTube, I guess it has led itself to become a bit of a disappointment. Yeah, that's right, I do occasionally buy boards for the sake of YouTube. Because I don't always have a queue full of machines that I feel I can really publicly YouTube. So it's good to have these fallbacks. Do you know anyone in New Zealand similar to you and Lewis? I don't, Owen, sorry, no. I'm sure someone will put their hand up. Might be a dumb question, but what do you want the values in open board in circuit once these components... Travis, it's really subjective based on what you would consider a normal test situation, and you can always just put it in the comment field. So like obviously for say iPhones, maybe like if you're doing touch disease something, you'll have a Mason on or Mason off type value. Agreeably it does lead to some issues where you got the same net and you got two distinct values. As long as you clarify in the comment, it should be okay. Because again, this isn't going to be data used in industrial situations, like industrial testing and all of that sort of stuff, because Apple's obviously got its own type of thing. It's going to be more a case of, for people like us. I'm definitely going to have to run a trace there, but other than that, it shouldn't be a problem. These gloves have become too sticky. Hey Steve K. And I think if we go the true false route, it might start padding out the... I mean, stick it in the comment. Like I said, if you stick it in the comment field, maybe we can come up with some sort of standard. Maybe you have your normal comment and then terminate with some terminator, or not even bother. Then maybe have URI or similar encoded data after that. Yeah, there's a bunch of possibles. Multiple comment attributes. Busted through that one. Not good. Tore the ring right off it. Try again. It's because my hands are all still sweaty. Give the air conditioner a high five. That'll help. A little. It's probably something I should look at, because I imagine that as the data set grows, there are going to be people wanting to put more data in there. I think ultimately, as long as we get a diode value and we specify how it's been obtained, then it should be good. I'm probably not going to put that link in until after I put the parts down. Here's our grungy looking replacement. Damn it. I'm getting the flux off this tube. It's been lying in its own flux. So now I'm going to have to clean it, because every time I'm picking it up, I'm reapplying flux to my gloves. So the alcohol doesn't dissolve the plastic or anything. Probably should be better. Are my ears burning? Oh dear God. Alright, just hang on there. I'll just make sure that it can hijack his software. Just okay, bring up the system. Good. Override. Secure password. RSA 256 mode. Yep. Get my swordfish face on. Right, you should be hacked now. You'll laugh if it actually happened. Wasn't really a great fan of the movie Swordfish, but well, they tried. I just realised I don't know which part I'm trying to grab here. Alright, we'll go for the top side first. So we want this resistor. Hacking movies are such bollocks. About the only movie I found genuinely enjoyable with that type of thing was the one with Robert Redford and Dan Aykroyd. Oh, what was that called? Sneakers. Oh, that was fun. Especially with Robert Redford cracking the door keypad lock. I think that scene I particularly love because it pretty much demonstrates my view on a lot of cracking attempts, and how in most cases that is how you get around it. Get around some sort of high-tech security. If you haven't seen the movie Sneakers with Robert Redford and Dan Aykroyd, then you might want to go see it. It's got a little bit of BS, but at least it sort of realizes itself that it's BS. Let's see. Wondering if you've implemented any way to handle mistaken reports, for example, point system prior to... Okay, Anton, that would be coming about when I get to the point where it can be unvetted community contributions. At this point, because people are having to do the contribution through a GitHub pull request, I can sort of vet the data right there and then, at least initially. Now, I mean, I won't specifically know if it's good or bad data, but at least we've always got the blame system on GitHub. And so we can go back and say, well, Jockstrap 3 got it wrong, so we're going to remove him from society. But when it comes to the point where I've got everything implemented that people can basically anonymously contribute data, then yes, it'll be a bit like the CPU performance ranking type pages, where everybody adds their little bit and then it's evaluated by weight and stuff like that. Nah. But for now I'm keeping it simple. Is it still possible to reset battery management ICs, having replaced cells and stuff for years? That's a good question, I don't know. Young Angelina Jolie, no, I'll pass on that too. She's not my cup of tea personally. I mean, I know lots of people really are into her, but I don't see it. But again, that's the joyous thing. Imagine if everybody liked the same people. I mean, there'd be wars over partners. Geez, I mean, imagine the days of the Greeks. You go and you grab some hot-looking blonde girl and take her over to your homeland, and before you know it, you probably get wiped out by the Greeks. So yeah, good thing that doesn't happen. As I mean, I personally have anything against Angelina Jolie, but just, yeah, not my personal choice. I'm not even sure who I'm into these days, other than my wife. You're my wife, Roy. You're my wife. Ah, good old IT crowd. Quality entertainment. Right, Travis is really losing it there. Kind of swinging a bit low there, buddy. Then again, I don't know anything. Ah. Let's see, Travis. Oh, wait, you're talking about my wife watching. Oh, well. Yeah. Well, she's got a thing for Garrett Hedlund. I don't know why. His only real claim to fame is pretending to be Brad Pitt and getting killed for it. Or just general destroyer of movies. I mean, Garrett Hedlund. If you think of the movie Tron, do you think of Garrett Hedlund? No, you don't. But he was the main boy. That was him. No one remembers. And that's just how unremarkable he is. Man, I'm struggling to think of who I like to watch these days. I really don't have anyone. Man, I'm letting myself down here. Yeah, let's see if this works. Oh, well, I was meaning Tron 2, by the way. Not the original Tron. Funnily enough, the original Tron, that's where I thought that Dave from EV-Vblog was getting his "in like Flynn" statement from. I know it's not from that now, but I always thought it was, because the way that, you know, Flynn gets taken into the machine. And hey, I mean, Dave from EEVblog, techno nerd type person, and would know Tron from his era. Seemed to make sense to me. And then I find out, no, it's nothing. It's like Errol Flynn instead, which is a whole lot less savoury. And I think we're alive. Better get a fan on this so that we can prove it. I certainly saw the current going well above what we had before. God damn you, Apple. I appreciate some of your engineering choices, but your choice of the design of these A1502 fans suck. They really, really suck. When they should actually blow. Here we go. Should have a fan spin. Fan spin? Yeah, fan spin. Alright, that's... Unlike some people on the internet who propose or profess to be professionals, and they think that a fan spin is everything that they need, I like to go a step further. I like to make sure it actually really does work by making sure that we get data access. Because we need to be professional in this industry. Okay. Now, if we've got data, we should see some blinking in here. We definitely have the light. I've really got the wrong one for this. Yeah, I just saw a blink. Not sure. Can anyone see that blinking? Naturally, the preferred... What have I got here? I've got a USB-C one, but they're all the same type. I don't have any with a broader, wider aperture on the LED. There we go. Any blinky, blinky, blink? Yeah, it's... Come on, it's blinking. There, you can see it. It's blinking, it's dim. It's blinking. That is legit working. And we're drawing 500 milliamp, so it's all good. So I'm fixed. That's everything for today. We're going to leave it at that. Now I'm going to go and partake in trolling myself some poor little New Yorkers in, yeah, suffering. It'll be fun. So, join me in the Lewis Rossman stream and prepare to troll. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you next time.